Yes, Runa, you have the answer? Who else is having the answer? And before I again ask the question, so have you understood this topic about transformation? Yes, students, any queries? Okay. And what about the answer? They not only looted the shop but also set fire. So who will make it simple? Yes, students. Is that difficult? Okay, next one. Take care of the pens and the pounds will take care of themselves. Make it complex. How will you make it complex? Okay, Aditya Govri, unmute and tell me the answer. Is he connected or gone?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, initially we didn't have the right to unmute ourselves when you were like into the
Asking the
screen
question.
share. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So tell me now if you have the answers. Yes. Take care of the pens and the pounds will take care of themselves. Yes. You have to make it complex. Yes. Siddharth Nair, you have the answer? Yes. Anyone with the answer? So there's no harm in trying if your answer is wrong. Yes.
Ma'am, can I try?
Yeah. Your name?
Drushti.
Yeah.
If you take care of the pens, the pounds will take care of themselves.
Correct. If you have to make it complex, so you will introduce the subordinator if. Why? Because this sentence is expressing condition and we use if or unless or provided to express condition. Very good. So if you take care of the pens, the pounds will take care of themselves. And then they not only looted the shop but also set fire to it. If you have to make it simple, how will you make it simple? You will
Ma'am,
remove
can I
not
try?
only but yes, your name?
Ma'am, Samruddhi Sunam.
Samruddhi Sonamni. Yeah, tell me.
Besides looting the shop, they also set fire to it.
Very good. The answer is besides looting the shop. So students, in English, we have two besides. So one is BESIDES and the other is BESIDE. So can anyone tell me the difference between the two? So spelling is same except in the other one you have S at the end. So beside and besides. What's the difference? Okay, the first one beside without the S at the end means someone is sitting beside you, someone is sitting next to you or adjacent to you, right? And then besides means apart from. So here also like apart from looting the shop, okay, if we have to say we use the word besides. Besides looting the shop, they also set fire to it, right? This is how we make it simple. And this is the completion of the topic of sentences. And then beginning with the writing skills, we have the topic 3.3, which explains the writing skills. Someone is raising the hand, and Drishti and Runav, yes. Why you have raised the hands? What happened? Drishti, you want to say something? You can say. I think you can unmute, right?
No,
Ma'am, we
ma'am,
are
I was
not
not.
able to
Huh.
unmute
Yes,
ourselves.
ma'am. As soon as you unmute us, only one time we are able to unmute ourselves, and then again on mute.
Okay, that means when I'm sharing the screen, you again are on mute.
No,
Yeah.
ma'am. Only once. Yeah, only once we can unmute and say, and then again, if we try to, it will say the host has muted everyone. So
Yeah, because the settings I have changed, and okay, even I wasn't aware, so that's fine.
yeah.
I have allowed you to speak. So in case if you have to say the any queries that you have, otherwise I can proceed with the writing skills.
No, no, ma'am. Just I raised the hand
Yes.
for the answer for beside ones.
Okay,
But you
good.
already told it.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Thank you.
That's good. Okay, so we'll begin with the writing skills, and again, I'm putting you all on mute, maybe for 5 minutes time. Once I complete this topic, 5 or 10 minutes, and then I will allow you to speak. Okay. Okay, so we have discussed letter writing. Okay, so email is almost the same as letter writing as far as the content or the main body of the letter is concerned. That is the 3 paragraphs, right? However, it is different in the format. In fact, not exactly different. Like, we have salutation and closing. Okay. But then you all might have used email. So you're aware that the first thing that you do is you write the recipient's email, right? And there is nothing, to mention about the sender's email or something like that, right? So email writing, this is 3.3 in your textbook, and this describes like what emails are. So students, you don't get any such questions like what is email and all, right? So you will be simply asked to write an email like you get letter writing. So this is one of the writing skills. So we will just quickly go through, like email is electronic mail, right? And it's commonly used services. So nowadays, hardly we write letters, and we are sending messages only through emails, because, or other, using social media like WhatsApp and all, because they are very quick, right? And within few seconds, the message can go from India to America, right? You don't even have to wait, and you even get the response in some time. So why we use email? So you're already aware about the advantages, because it's very quick, okay, and very simple to use, okay, and that's why it has become the most popular service, right? The only thing that you have to ensure is enter the correct email address. Otherwise, the message will be not received by the recipient. So it's very spontaneous, and on top of all that, it saves paper. So we are concerned, okay, about the environment also. We are taking care of the environment if we are, just taking or sending email. Then email basics, like you need to be, careful about the content, okay? You cannot be sloppy just because it's email. It has to be considered formal, like a letter. Like a formal letter, we have to be very professional, very precise, to the point. In the same way, you need to be precise, because obviously you will not be asked to write email to your family and friends, right? So you will be asked to write formal emails only, like we have formal letters. So you have to be particular about the language. And So here, email message template. So there are some standard templates or, frameworks already mentioned. So first thing that you have is the recipient's email. Then you also get options like CC or BCC. That CC is carbon copy, BCC is blind carbon copy. The person whose email address you are putting in BCC, that person will not come to know to who other people are, like, the email has been sent. So subject line is, very important. It's like, a subject that we write in the formal letter, like what this email is about, right? So the person who has received, that person can decide, okay, whether it is urgent for me to read it or I can read it later. And then salutation, like how we use in the letter, in the same way we can use. However, here we don't preferably use respected. We can simply use dear, okay, for anyone. Then first paragraph, okay, like you are explaining the subject in detail. So what is the purpose of writing this email? That you have already told in short. Now you have to elaborate it, okay, more in the first paragraph. And then the second paragraph will contain the details, okay, of you writing the letter. So let's say you are writing the application letter for a job. So second paragraph will be comprising of your information, like when did you completed your graduation, whether you secure first class or not, and so on. Okay. And then the last paragraph will be like, you will be concluding it, okay, by thanking someone. And then in case if you're writing a complaint letter to some authority like MSCB or KDMC, you will be saying that I earnestly request you to give a due consideration to my application and rectify the problem as per your earliest convenient time. So you have to be very polite and professional emails. You cannot simply say rectify the problem, right? In case if there is a problem. So you have to use polite words, even if we are aware that the other person, whether it's authority, KDMC or MSCB, maybe they are at fault, but you cannot say just rectify the problem. You have to be polite all the time. And then like how we sign in the formal letter, you have your already set email signature. So you don't even have to type your name again and again. Then first name, last name, then email address, okay, phone, how to CC and BCC. So we are already seeing CCC and BCC. So this is a sample email format. In the same way, you can prepare your own. The sample is already given to you all. And one more sample, I will be, sharing it once I complete this topic in the other batches. There is a PDF file which contains all the writing skills. So that will be shared with you all. And apart from all this, you have something in the formal letters that you send, which are called as enclosures. In emails, we call them as attachments. So apart from this application, if you have to give some other documents, right, we put it as an attachment. And in the formal letter, after your signature at the end, that is once you have closed, yours faithfully, yours sincerely, yours obediently, then your signature, then at the end you write enclosures. So enclosures is the list of documents that you're sending apart from this application, and you will number them like 1, 2, or 3 in the formal letter. In the email, you will simply send it as an attachment. And you will also mention, okay, like PFA, which is the standard short form that we use, all letters capital, please find attachment. Okay, so whose attachment it is, that also you need to mention, right? That means the document that you have attached, for what purpose it is, I mean, what's the name of the document, that information has to be there in your email. So here, the person who has sent you the email, okay, that person's or the sender's address can be written at the end, right? So this is the format of the email. So if you have to write an email, you have the compose option depending upon the kind of mail that you're using. Okay. So we can use emails for drafting our resumes. Resumes are also called as CV or curriculum vitae. So what is this curriculum vitae? The curriculum vitae contains all the information about you, okay, that is from the job point of view. So if you are applying for a job, you are expected to give your resume or CV. So that will contain information related to your academics, okay, that is your all qualifications, as well as related to your experience and some information related to your hobbies which you can share with others, right? And some personal information, like let's say explaining the marital status in case if the person is of that age, so that is all expected. And other information is not at all expected. And in case if you're applying emails or letters to foreign companies, they even don't expect this personal information from you, that is whether you're married or not, they don't really care. So it depends upon to whom you're writing the email, and accordingly that information has to be contained. So first of all, we'll just see what these terms are. So resume is ideally a summary of one's education. Okay. So basically, we mention about your 10th marks, then 12th marks, okay, and then the final year, that is the graduation marks, or in case if you have done some diploma. So it does not list all the details of a profile, but only specific details. Okay. And if thus, it usually is one or at the most 2 pages long. So resume is usually written in the third person to give it as an objective and formal tone. So third person in the sense, you are writing as if you're not, saying I. Okay, it was completed this way. You will write. Then curriculum vitae. Curriculum vitae is more detailed as compared to a resume. And in case if we have these in the writing skills, I will also share the samples of resume and curriculum vitae, if at all it's required. Like in the sense, if we get the paper pattern that these are going to come, then I'll share the samples. Otherwise, you don't need to much bother about how to write and all. So we'll just understand in short, curriculum vitae is more detailed as compared to a resume. It could be longer than that, and it will list every skill, okay, all the jobs and positions held. So let's say you were working for a company. What was your designation? Were you a team leader? Were you a project manager? And in case if you are a project manager, what kind of projects have you, handled? So you have to list the names of those projects handled by you, right? So that is why we call curriculum vitae as a detailed information. And then CV is used to highlight the general talent of the candidates rather than specific talent for a specific position. So if you're applying for a specific position, you are also expressing your general talent. Now, what is general talent? General talent means in case if you have some problems, which obviously everyone will have when you're dealing, when you are in a position, right? How you are tackling, right? Those problems, okay? How you're handling those problems, what kind of methods, what kind of strategies you are using, okay? So that will come under problem solving skills. So you can also specify in your curriculum vitae that what kind of skills you have. You will also mention problem solving skills, right? Then apart from that, many people will have to interact with different sorts of people. So let's say you are a manager, you have to deal with different kinds of people, in the sense you may have your own boss, maybe the senior manager, and then you may have your colleagues who are managers like you if you're working for a big company, and you may have your subordinates who are your team members. So let's say you have around 15 to 20 team members under you. So how you're dealing with everyone, obviously you will have a different strategy to deal with such kind of different people, right? So for them, you will be using different strategies. So general skill for this is called as PMS or people management skill. So when you are being asked to write your skills, you will write these kind of skills: problem solving skills, people management skills, and so on and so forth. And that list is endless for the skills. Like if you're using the resource properly, you will also see resource management skill and so on and so forth. So just to name a few I explained. Then biodata. So biodata is a short form for biographical data. So what is this is actually uh, It's an archaic terminology for resume or CV, and in a biodata, the focus is on the personal particulars like date of birth, gender, religion, race, nationality, residence, marital status. A chronological listing of education and experience comes after that. So, depending upon the kind of job that you're, applying, obviously, if you're applying to MNC, you will not write a biodata. You will not tell your religion. Okay, they are not concerned with what religion you are belonging to, right? And even for that matter, what's your status, okay, so depends, where you're applying, accordingly we have to change. So that completes your email, and I'll just quickly share a PDF with you all, which gives another and the time is running short. We have 4 minutes. Okay. So first of all, we have the letter writing sample over here that we have already discussed in the last lecture. This is complaint letter. And then the email writing format. So email written for business communication or professional use comes under this category. And the email written for government department, school authority, company are the formal emails. So use of polite and formal words, the reason for writing the email, clarity, proper greeting and closing are some of the rules of the formal emails. So you should be aware that if you follow the correct format, whether it's in a letter or an email, you get 50% of the marks, right? You should be aware about it. Then your other marks are given based upon your content, right? So resignation email, if you are not happy with your job, you want to resign. So obviously, resignation usually happens. I'm not saying 100%, but usually if people, when they are not happy, they resign. However, resignation could be due to some other reasons also. In case if you have to shift, okay, for XYZ reasons to a different locality where office does not have a branch, so you resign, or maybe some other family or other reason, right? Now, in case if you're not happy with the company that you're working and you have got a really good post somewhere else, you cannot write all that information in the email, right? You have to be very polite and professional, and you have to say that you were actually happy. So, because of the opportunities given to you and so on. So, you don't have to be rude in any way, right? And similarly, at the same time, you will not specify, that you have got a better position. So all these things should be avoided. Or if you have to include, you will include it in a very subtle or an indirect way. So here, this is the beginning of the paragraph. Please accept this mail as a notice, because normally you are supposed to give 1 month's notice or 1 month prior intimation that you are about to leave the job, right? So that will uh, be the first paragraph in detail. Then second paragraph, I really appreciate the opportunities that have been given to me to help me grow. So wish you and the company the best in future. This is how a professional and polite language is. And when you're studying language, any, whether it's English, Hindi, Marathi, or any other regional language, you try to understand which words should I use so that it would enhance my language, and the other person should not feel contempted in any way, right? That is the beauty of any language. So then here, the third paragraph, it's not simply just leaving the company, not being bothered. So here you need to tell them that in case if there is any schedule or any other work, you can just let me know. And then what are the employee benefits? Kindly let me know, because some people get pensions and all. And finally, here your closing thanks and regards, and then your designation you will specify. So you may specify the reason in a very short way, right, in the professional email, but in detail you will not specify. So this completes the topic of email writing, and very quickly I will just unmute. Okay, I've allowed you to speak, and if you have to speak, you can let me know, or even we are there on WhatsApp. You can ask me on WhatsApp also. Yes, students, any query regarding email? Yes. Nupur, any query? Vedant and Chalkar, anything you want to say? Okay. I think you are able to speak now, right? I mean, I have taken off the mute option. I